The Florida coast holds a story that has been etched into the sands and stones of this historic land. A tale of empires, of battles won and lost, of cultures clashing and blending. It is a narrative that spans centuries, weaving together the destinies of many peoples. At the heart of this story, in the ancient city of St. Augustine, stands the oldest remaining masonry fortification in the United States, Castillo de San Marcos. This fortress is not just a relic of the past, but a living testament to the resilience and determination of those who built and defended it. For over 3 centuries, it has stood watch over the Matanzas Bay. The bay itself, a silent partner in the fort's history, has seen ships of all kinds come and go, each leaving its mark on the story of this place. A silent witness to the ebb and flow of history. The Castillo has seen the rise and fall of nations, the changing of flags, and the evolution of warfare. The Castillo has seen it all, from Spanish conquistadors to British redcoats, from American revolutionaries to modern-day tourists. Each group has left its imprint, adding layers to the rich tapestry of its history. Its walls have echoed with the clang of swords, the roar of cannons, and the cries of those who fought bravely. The fort has been a stage for countless dramas, each one adding to its mystique. Castillo de San Marcos is more than just a collection of stones and mortar. It is a repository of memories, a place where the past is preserved and honored. The story of Castillo de San Marcos begins not with stone, but with wood. The early days of Spanish colonization in Florida were fraught with challenges and dangers. The settlers, eager to establish a foothold in the New World, initially relied on wooden structures for their defense. Early Spanish settlements in Florida, vulnerable to attack, built wooden forts for protection. These wooden forts, hastily constructed, were meant to provide a quick solution to the immediate threats posed by hostile forces and the harsh environment. But wood was no match for the humid climate and determined enemies. The relentless humidity caused the wood to rot, weakening the structures over time. Additionally, the forts were frequently attacked by rival European powers and indigenous groups, further compromising their integrity. In 1670, after a devastating raid, the Spanish made a decision. They would build a fort that would last. The raid had exposed the vulnerabilities of their wooden defenses, prompting a reevaluation of their strategy. The decision was made to construct a more permanent and resilient structure, a fort built not of wood, but of stone. This new fort would be a testament to Spanish engineering and determination, designed to withstand both the elements and enemy attacks. The chosen material was coquina, a unique type of limestone formed from compressed seashells. Coquina was abundant in the region, making it an ideal choice for construction. Its unique properties would prove to be invaluable in the fort's defense. Quarried nearby, coquina was surprisingly strong. Despite its seemingly fragile appearance, coquina's composition made it incredibly durable. The stone could absorb and dissipate the energy from cannonballs, reducing the damage to the fort's walls. More importantly, it was porous. This porosity allowed the stone to compress and absorb impacts rather than shattering like other types of stone. Cannonballs, instead of shattering the stone, would embed themselves within the walls. This unique characteristic made the fort nearly impervious to artillery fire, a significant advantage in the age of cannon warfare. In 1672, the first stones of the fort were laid. The first construction was a monumental task. The project required immense labor and resources, with workers toiling day and night to bring the vision to life. For years, laborers, both Spanish and Native American, toiled under the hot Florida sun. The collaboration between these groups was essential, as the construction process was both physically demanding and technically complex. Finally, in 1695, after 23 years, the Castillo was complete. The completion of the fort marked a significant milestone in the Spanish colonization efforts, providing a secure base of operations in the region. The Castillo was more than just a fort, it was a small city within walls. It served as a hub of activity with various facilities and amenities to support the garrison and their families. It housed a garrison of soldiers, along with their families. The presence of families within the fort created a sense of community and stability, essential for maintaining morale and order. Within its walls were a chapel, a bakery, and even a dungeon. These facilities provided for the spiritual, nutritional, and security needs of the inhabitants, making the Castillo a self-sufficient entity. The Castillo was designed to withstand not just attacks but also lengthy sieges. Its robust construction and strategic design allowed it to endure prolonged periods of isolation and assault. It was a symbol of Spanish power and determination, a bastion of empire in a new world. The Castillo de San Marcos stood as a testament to the resilience and ambition of the Spanish Empire, a fortress that would endure the test of time. If you're enjoying this video, then please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. The Castillo's history is one of constant struggle, a testament to the resilience and determination of its defenders. Built during a time of intense rivalry between European powers, the Castillo was a strategic prize, coveted by many, and defended fiercely by its Spanish builders. In 1702, the British, led by the ambitious Governor James Moore of Carolina, laid siege to St. Augustine, hoping to capture this vital stronghold. The siege lasted for 50 grueling days, a period marked by relentless attacks and desperate defenses. The British bombarded the Castillo relentlessly, their cannons thundering day and night in an attempt to break the Spanish resolve. But the coquina walls held firm, absorbing the impact of the cannonballs. This unique material, made of compressed shells, proved to be incredibly resilient. Inside the Castillo, the Spanish defenders and the residents of St. Augustine huddled for safety, their hopes pinned on the fortress's sturdy walls. Food and water were scarce, and disease spread rapidly among the crowded inhabitants, adding to the misery of the siege. But the Spanish were determined to resist. Their resolve was unshakable, fueled by a fierce loyalty to their homeland and a deep-seated belief in their cause. When a relief fleet finally arrived from Havana, bringing much-needed supplies and reinforcements, the British were forced to withdraw, their plans thwarted. The Castillo had endured its first major test, emerging battered but unbroken, a symbol of Spanish tenacity and engineering prowess. Over the next several decades, the Castillo would face numerous other threats, each one a new challenge to its defenders. Native American raids, pirate attacks, and the ever-present threat of another European war kept the Spanish garrison on high alert, always ready to spring into action. Each attack served to highlight the importance of the Castillo, not just as a military fortification, but as a beacon of Spanish influence and power in the New World. It was the linchpin of Spain's defenses in Florida, protecting its interests and securing its hold on the region. The Castillo stood as a guardian of Spanish ambitions, a fortress that weathered the storms of conflict and emerged as a lasting monument to the era's turbulent history. The Castillo's story is inseparable from the lives of the soldiers who manned its ramparts. Generation after generation, Spanish soldiers, many from distant corners of the empire, found themselves stationed at this remote outpost. Life was harsh, and the heat, humidity, and mosquitoes were relentless. Supplies were often scarce, and pay was poor, yet these soldiers were the guardians of Spain's claim to Florida. Throughout its history, the fort changed hands several times, each time by treaty. Though battles were fought, the fort was never taken by military force. In 1821, the United States purchased the territory of Florida from the Spanish, and with it came Castillo de San Marcos. The name of the fort was changed to Fort Marion in honor of American Revolutionary War General Francis Marion. The fort was used as a coastal defense post and saw some action in conflicts with natives. The years slowly continued to degrade the fort, as minimal efforts were made to maintain it, and eventually the fort began to transition from a military hub to a tourist destination. As early as the 1830s, St. Augustine began to attract tourists. By the late 1800s, restoration efforts began in order to preserve the fort. In 1924, President Calvin Coolidge declared Fort Marion a national monument, and by 1933, it was handed over to the National Park Service. Now, Castillo de San Marcos functions as a historic monument. It is a place where history is not just read in books, but felt in the very air. The Castillo de San Marcos invites us to connect with the past, to understand the struggles and triumphs of those who came before us, and to appreciate the rich heritage that has shaped our present. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Before you go, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. It helps out the channel and ensures you stay current on the latest videos. We are the Minutemen of History.